Hello and welcome to 9MSN Newsroom. I'm Wendy Kingston with a quick hit of all of the big stories making news today. Herman Rockefeller's alleged killers front court. Prince Harry gets jiggy with it for Haiti's quake victims. And we're on the red carpet for music's Night of Nights, the Grammys. Well, in the past 24 hours, we've heard more sordid details about the murder of Melbourne businessman Herman Rockefeller. And now this morning, his alleged killers have faced court. Nine's Brett McLeod has the details.
57-year-old Mario Schembri and co-accused 41-year-old Bernadette Denny, both charged with the murder of Herman Rockefeller. They sat in the same dock, but while Mr Schembri made various attempts to look across and make eye contact with Bernadette Denny, she was having none of it. This is quite a procedural hearing for all the allegations and rumours about swingers clubs and about whether this pair had met Mr Rockefeller through the internet. None of that was aired in court today. This is quite a procedural hearing and revolves from when Mr Rockefeller first went missing about a week and a half ago to when his body was located, or what police suspect was his body was located just before the weekend. Now, the pair charged with his murder, there was no plea required to be entered today. All that we know is that Ms Denny required medication for her arthritis. That was really the only major issue raised. And since then, they've been remanded in custody to appear in court on the 24th of May for a committal hearing, which is when we expect to find more details about what exactly was their involvement in the murder of Herman Rockefeller.
Brett McLeod there, and there's possibly been another murder in Melbourne. Detectives are working to identify the body of a woman discovered following a fire in South Melbourne overnight. There's no indication yet about how the blaze started or how the woman died. Parts of coastal Queensland are once again bracing for king tides as the state's south continues to get battered by wild weather. Widespread flash flooding has closed local roads and highways, while strong winds have brought down trees and power lines. But not everyone is disappointed.
I've never seen anything like this, so it's pretty cool.
Police have warned people not to drive through or swim anywhere near the king tides. Consumer Group Choice says supermarket loyalty cards aren't everything they're cracked up to be. The watchdog has found shoppers are only saving $1 on every $100 they spend and are giving away far too much personal information in exchange.
There is a trade-off, and every time you hand over that card, the data about where you shop, when you shop and what you buy is collected.
Consumers would need to spend $15,000 at Coles to earn a $50 voucher, while at Woolworths, the same reward would cost $11,000. Chilling new footage of the destruction of the Space Shuttle Challenger has emerged 26 years after the terrible accident happened. Florida man Jack Moss was testing out his new video camera when the doomed craft came into view. Have a look.
That's brighter than usual.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right over those trees. I saw it when it went through that hole.
I don't remember it being that bright and that big. What's
I don't
that?
either.
What was that part? That must have been one of the boosters.
Oh, look, there's two. It's going off into two.
Hey, is that trouble or not? They're not having trouble, are they?
7 astronauts died instantly after a leaking seal on a booster rocket triggered that blast. Well, when you're a celebrity couple, it appears the quickest way to squash breakup rumours is to appear in public. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie did just that at the Directors Guild of America Awards. The pair sat together at the table of director Quentin Tarantino. Their every move was watched. The pair didn't actually walk the red carpet though, but Pitt did appear backstage to pose for photos. 10 Americans are being held in Haiti for allegedly trying to leave the country with 33 children. The group, which is part of a US Christian ministry, was caught trying to cross into the Dominican Republic with the kids, but they say their intentions were good and they're not child traffickers.
Our understanding was that we were told by a number of people, including Dominican authorities, that we would be able to bring the children across. I understand that. So that's the mistake obviously we made, is we did not understand that there was additional paperwork required.
The children are aged between 2 months and 12 years. Prince Harry has wowed the crowds in Barbados by dancing on stage after challenging the crowd to donate money for Haiti to get him on his feet. The The 25-year-old is in the country for a 3-day visit, and boy can he move. The stars of the music industry have hit the red carpet at the Grammy Awards in LA. Now, as usual, Lady Gaga wowed the crowd with some crazy fashion. This time, she appeared to be channeling the 1950s Russian satellite Sputnik. Harry Connick Jr. and his wife made a classic duo in black, while Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker showed his rock and roll genes are strong in his adorable son. Cute. Katy Perry cemented her new reputation for glamour in gold. But of course, there was one star brighter than all. Beyonce Knowles rocked a gold dress that's very similar in colour to the 10 Grammy Awards she's nominated for. And of course, for all the winners and losers at the big awards, keep an eye on 9msn.com.au/news. Moving now from raving to raging, and 2 motorists have paired up for a violent dance in the middle of a freeway at peak hour. Have a look. These guys were involved in the smallest of collisions that would usually involve nothing more than exchanging details, but they decided to swap blows instead. Now, the brawl dragged on for nearly 5 minutes across several lanes of traffic before our road ragers simply ran out of gas. 5,000 people have taken part in the ultimate endurance race in the UK. The tough guy race includes wading through a frozen pond and crawling under a barbed wire fence.
It's called Tough Guy, the ultimate endurance race. Founded in the 80s by an ex-soldier who was worried British men were, well, losing their manliness, it's become an international event. 5,000 people from all over the world took part. By the law of averages, the organisers told us there'd be at least 1 fatality. It was hard to tell whether they were joking. Now, as if these competitors didn't have enough to contend with, it's also very cold. These are the race leaders here, and you can see they're having to break the ice on this water obstacle to get across. Even for the toughest guys, the finishing line came as a merciful relief.
My 3rd time, definitely the coldest. Pretty special, pretty special.
There's another tough guy in the summer. The manly reputation of British males has been restored, at least for another 6 months.
Bizarre. Now for something completely different to that, a dancing owl. This baby bird shows that it's not only younger humans who like to boogie. My goodness me, but this chick apparently is no pioneer. Owl dancing has been mentioned in literature since the times of ancient Greece. And if that was a little too traditional for you, here's a very modern version of musical birds. French musician and composer Céleste Borzier-Mousseau has taken a flock of zebra finches and let them loose in an aviary full of electric guitars. Now, most are content to let their feet do the talking, but one of these little guys is using a twig as a pick and seems to be channeling Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page. That is cool. Now, he's so rock and roll, he's even got a few groupies happening. Let's take a look now at the stories that are getting you clicking today. The death of P-Plater driver Kylie Poyner and serious injuries to 3 other teenagers have rocked several communities on the New South Wales south coast. The number of drownings at Australian beaches has risen sharply in the past year after a decade of decline. And US humanitarians have sidestepped bureaucratic red tape by flying 3 critically ill children out of Haiti by a private jet. To sports news now, and Roger Federer has again proved why he's the best tennis player in the world, winning his 16th Grand Slam title, the Australian Open in Melbourne last night. The Swiss master took the first 2 sets with ease, despite a valiant effort from Scotsman Andy Murray. Federer was pushed to a tiebreak in the 3rd, but he couldn't be stopped.
I'm over the moon, winning this again. I think I played some of my best tennis again in my life these last 2 weeks. So this is obviously a very special moment. Sharing this again with you guys, you get the best out of me.
It was Federer's 4th Australian Open title. Pakistan all-rounder Shahid Afridi has been banned for 2 2020 internationals for biting the ball in last night's loss to Australia. And there was more drama later on in the match when a ground invader tackled one of Pakistan's fieldmen. At least Khalid could see the funny side, though. Bowler Ryan Harris has further pushed his claims for a full-time gig in the one-day team, taking 3 wickets and player of the series. And our skipper Ricky Ponting found some form with the bat. His half-century led the way in a 2-wicket victory. Well, both halves of Manchester are celebrating after wins in the English Premier League. Portuguese winger Nani displayed some spectacular footwork as Man United beat title rivals Arsenal 3-1.
And you have to say that from Nani, that was quite brilliant.